Good evening, friends. Welcome everyone for today's session on a very pertinent topic micro, small, and medium enterprises. Thought this would be relevant considering the current scenario and the packages and schemes which have been offered for MSME. Before starting, would like to acknowledge the efforts of CA Varsha Chopra for preparing this PPT. The schema for the evening, introduction, importance of MSMEs for Indian economy, classification, new definition as there was change in the definition of MSME, factors which lead to growth of MSME, issues faced by MSMEs, steps taken to improve their conditions, benefits, process of registration, opportunity areas, key announcements of Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, and few statistics. So let's get started, friends. Again, the Ministry of MSME is a branch of government, again an apex executive body for the formulation or the governing of MSME in India. It's again a highly vibrant and dynamic sector, constitute over 90% of the total enterprise in most of the economies, and also highest rates of employment generation. Worldwide, MSMEs have been accepted as the engine of economic growth and for promoting equitable development with low investment requirements, operational flexibility, and the capacity to develop appropriate indigenous technology. MSMEs or SMEs have the power to propel India to new heights. Again, importance of MSMEs for Indian economy. Few relevant figures and statistics. Employment, second largest employment generation sector after agriculture. There are two classifications of MSME, manufacturing as well as service. Manufacturing constitutes around 6.11% of GDP, and service sector contributes around 24.63% of GDP. Exports, out of the total exports, contributes around 45%. Promotes innovation, inclusive growth. Again, it provides employment opportunities in rural areas and weaker sections of the society. So, because of that, even there's an upliftment of village and village people in India. Financial inclusion, small industry, retail businesses in tier two and tier three create opportunities for people to use banking services and products. Classification of MSME as per the MSMED Act 2006. There are two classes of MSME: manufacturing enterprises and service enterprises. New definition of MSME. So, as our Honorable Finance Minister has devise a new definition for MSME. Earlier, there was only investment criteria to regard an enterprise as micro enterprise, small or medium enterprises. But now, along with investment, there is an annual turnover criteria. For manufacturing and services, there was a different investment criteria earlier, but now both have been clubbed. So, for micro enterprises, either under manufacturing or services, investment less than rupees 1 crores and turnover less than rupees 5 crores. Small would be regarded as investment less than rupees 10 crores and turnover less than 50 crores. Medium investment less than 20 crores and turnover less than 100 crores. So both investment and turnover criteria needs to be fulfilled as per the new definition of MSME. Why this change was required? Again, the annual turnover criteria was the reason. I mean, because of only investment, some MSMEs were not getting fit into the definition of MSME. Hence, this change was required to include even turnover as a criteria for an enterprise to be regarded as an MSME. Factors which leads to growth of MSME, digitization, that increasing internet penetration, customers familiarization with digital payments fueled by B2C e-commerce players shall facilitate MSME sector growth. So these are the factors, various factors, friends. Second, campaigns like Skill India, Startup India, Digital India, and Make in India also pave the growth of MSME. Tie-ups with new age non-banking finance, fintech, which allows companies access to timely collateral-free finance to MSMEs. Changing employment patterns, younger generation shifting from agriculture towards entrepreneurial activities. are creating job prospects for others. So these are the four important factors which leads to growth of MSME. Issues, we've seen the factor, but what are the issues? Access to credit, dependence on informal sources for funding, maybe like sahukars and other informal people where the interest rate is very much high rather than the funding from the formal sources like banks and NBFCs. Lack of sufficient collateral and higher working capital needs. Technology as excess, again, technology is again not being available to everyone in India, and also when it is available, people are not adapted to that. So that is again one issue. Access to markets, that is low outreach, lack of skilled manpower, and ineffective marketing strategy. Competition from MNCs and other big industries. So as there are various players again in various other giants, I would say, in India as well as from outside India, uh, which has or which provides stiff competition to MSMEs. Quality and export issues, low quality products impact export competitiveness. Inadequate access to quality raw materials and use of traditional machines, which causes low productivity. Ease of doing business, cumbersome government procedures and rules for establishing new units. Bureaucratic delays in getting clearances, poor litigation systems. So that is again something which is hindering the growth of MSME. Steps taken to improve the condition. Launch of the 59-minute loan portal to enable easy access to credit for MSMEs. 2% interest subvention for all GST registered MSMEs on fresh or incremental loans. Union government announced to launch an e-commerce platform on the lines of Amazon and Alibaba to sell their products and establish the Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Friends, please be clear, these are the steps taken before the Atmanirbhar package, which was announced a few days back. Um, 20 hubs and 100 spokes in the form of tool rooms will be established across the country to facilitate product design and easy access to latest technologies to MSMEs. Financial support to MSMEs in Z, that is zero defect in products, zero effect on environment, certification to improve quality of products. The return under 8 law, labor, and 10 union regulations must now be filed only once a year. Environmental clearance under air pollution and water pollution laws have been merged into one. So again, less regulatory control. What are the various benefits? So now we have seen the opportunity, and we have seen the factor which leads to the growth. We have seen what are the issues in India for MSME and what the government has been doing for MSME. Now, what are the benefits if someone opts for MSME or someone is an MSME? Collateral free loans from banks, which is again, so without much collateral, loan can be offered, or maybe collateral to the extent of a very less value against the loan amount. Marginal exemption on the interest rate on overdraft. Industrial promotion subsidy, the various subsidies are available if in case you are an MSME. Concession in electricity bill is provided. Protection against delayed payments. Compound interest is levied if the buyer does not pay their dues in 45 days. Reimbursement of ISO certification charges. Compensation of ISO certificate expenditure is provided. Preference for government license. Business registered under MSME are given higher preference for government licenses and certification. There are many government tenders which are only open to the MSME industries. Additionally, waiver in earnest money in government tenders is provided, and also now, as we'll see in the economic package, that up to 200 crores, the foreign players are not allowed to apply for tenders when it comes to government tenders. Tax benefits, tax audit for MSME shall be required in case the turnover exceeds rupees 5 crores. So the tax audit limit has been increased from effective from 1st April 2020 from 1 crore to 5 crore. However, there is a condition of cash transaction not exceeding 5%, be it cash receipts or cash payments. To boost investments, corporate tax rates for new companies in the manufacturing sector, again 15%. So we were there at 30, from 30 to 25, 25 to 20, 22, and now 22 to 15 only for new companies engaged in the manufacturing sector. Simplification of GST returns, automation of GST refund, introduction of electronic invoice to facilitate compliance and return filing, Aadhaar based verification of taxpayers to weed out dummy or non existent units has been done. So these are the various benefits provided under direct and as well as the indirect tax for MSMEs. Steps for setting up an MSME. The other aspects remains what was a personal or individual to MSME, like say project selection and technology and machinery, arranging finance, unit development, but Udyog Aadhaar and getting clearances and other certifications. But Udyog Aadhaar is something which the government has introduced in the last few years, wherein like getting Udyog Aadhaar is like a maximum 1 to 2 hours job now. So it has become very simple to apply for MSME. So once you have the Udyog Aadhaar, like how we have Aadhaar for individuals, there are Aadhars for enterprises as well. And once you take Udyog Aadhaar, you would be registered as MSME. Registration procedure, as we have seen, msme.gov.in online application. Details required for Udyog Aadhaar. Again, the fee is all, there is no fee for getting Udyog Aadhaar. It's free of cost. Details required: name and type of business entity, number of employees in the business, postal address of the business for communication purpose, total amount investment in terms of machinery and equipment by the business. Yes, this will undergo a change because of the new definition of MSME. Along with investment, there would be turnover criteria as well, which would be asked at the time of registration. Major activity, NIC code and key areas of activity of the business, service or manufacturing. 12-digit Aadhaar number of the person who is applying on behalf of, say, it's a proprietary concern, the proprietor company, then the director, if at all partnership firm of the partner, banking details. So these are the only details required. With this, you can apply for Udyog Aadhaar. Procedure for registration of Udyog Aadhaar. I mean, go to udyogaadhaar.gov.in. Um, Fill in the basic details. It's a two-way thing. So there will be two OTP generations. One at the time of when you key in your mobile number, and second OTP at the time of final submission of details. So once this is done, once the all details are been put in, also there is no requirement of any documents to be attached for Udyog Aadhaar. You will get the certificate in maximum 2 hours, if not later than that. Opportunity areas for MSMEs in India. Telecommunications is one sector where MSME can can be or can help to boost this sector. Electronics, healthcare, considering the current pandemic, healthcare again becomes a critical area for the purpose of development or for the purpose of growth when it comes to MSME. Other areas like information technology, pharmaceutical, chemical, automotive, renewables, gems and jewelry, textiles, and food and agriculture. Support to MSME, the recent Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, Self-Reliant India scheme, which was announced by the Honorable Finance Minister, which said about the economic stimulus package of 20 lakh crores, out of which the first stimulus package of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana of rupees 1.7 lakhs already was announced on 26th March 2020. On May 12th, the first tranche of on May 13th, the first tranche. May 12th, the Honorable PM said about this, and May 13th was the first tranche wherein measures were given for various sectors, which included MSMEs as well. Emergency. Let us now see what were those measures for MSME, specifically for MSME. So we are not covering any other sectors or any other aspects of these five tranches which were said. We are only focusing on MSME. Emergency working capital for businesses including MSMEs. Additional working capital of finance of 20% of the outstanding credit as on 29th February 2020 in the form of a term loan at a concessional rate of interest will be provided, will be available to units with up to rupees 25 crores outstanding and turnover up to rupees 100 crores whose accounts are standard, I mean, which are not classified as NP and which does not carry more than normal risk attached to the business. Loans to have 4-year tenor with moratorium of 12 months. So first 12 months, there won't be any principal repayment, only interest payment, and thereafter you can start paying EMI in the form of principal and interest. The units will not have to provide any guarantee or collateral of their own. It would be 100% guaranteed by the government of India. providing a total liquidity of 3 lakh crores to more than 45 lakh MSMEs. Schemes can be availed till 31st October 2020. Subordinate debt for stressed MSMEs. Provision made for rupees 20,000 crores subordinate debt. Again, it's an unsecured loan upon which ranks below other securities or senior loans with respect to the claims on assets or earning. It generally has higher yield and lower credit rating. So this 20,000 crores subordinate debt would be given to 2 lakh MSMEs which are NPA or stress. So the first one was for a standard account, but second one was is for the NPA account or stressed account. Government will support them with rupees 4,000 crores infusion to Credit Guarantee Trust for MS Micro and Small Enterprises. That is CGTMSE. So apart from 20,000 crores, 4,000 crores would be infused to the Credit Guarantee Trust for micro and small enterprises for the purpose of credit infusion. This trust will provide partial credit guarantee support to banks. So, at 4,000 crores would be infused to this trust. This trust will provide partial credit guarantee support to banks, basis which banks would be in a position to fund the MSMEs. Banks are expected to provide a subordinate to promoters of such MSMEs equal to 15% of its existing stake in the unit, subject to a maximum of rupees 75 lakhs. Promoters of the MSME can infuse the debt given by banks as equity in the unit, which will de-stress their need of equity support. So whether it's equity crunch, yes, or liquidity crunch, and the accounts are NP, these entities can go for this scheme. Equity infusion through MSME fund of funds. Government will set up a fund of funds with a corpus of rupees 10,000 crore that will provide equity funding support for MSMEs. What exactly is fund of funds? Fund of funds is an investment strategy of holding a portfolio of other investment funds rather than investing directly in stocks, bonds, or other securities. So they do not directly invest in these, like how our mutual fund works. They will not. But fund of funds would be an investment again in a fund, which will in turn invest in these stocks, bonds, and other securities. The fund of funds shall be operated through a mother and daughter funds. Daughter fund is created to park allocation from fund of funds. The mother fund collects money from investing in daughter funds, whereas daughter collects money partly from mother and partly from people. So the fund of funds will work on the criteria for mother and daughter funds. Daughter funds is created to park allocation from fund of funds. So mother fund will collect money for investment in daughter funds. It is expected that with the leverage of 1 is to 4 at the level of daughter fund, the fund of funds will be able to mobilize equity of about rupees 50,000 crores. As the fund of fund will be set up with a corpus of 10,000 crores, leverage of 1 is to 4, 1 is to 4. So we are expecting mobilizing equity of rupees 50,000, as it is at 10,000 and 1 is to 4. So the total mobilization of equity of about 50,000 crores. This scheme will expand MSME size as well as capacity and will encourage MSMEs to get listed on stock exchanges. So we have seen, friends, the first one was for the standard, a normal MSME. Second one was for the NPAs on stress account. And third one is MSMEs who wants to further develop and grow, wherein they can even think of listing on the stock exchange. For them, this measure, global tenders to be disallowed, as I have mentioned earlier. Indian MSMEs and other companies have often faced unfair competition from foreign companies. Hence, necessary adjustments will be made to the general financial rules to disallow global tender inquiries in procurement of goods and services of value less than 200 crores. If tender value is less than 200 crores, foreigners won't be allowed, foreigners or foreign companies won't be allowed to bid for tender. It would be allowed or opened only for Indian MSMEs. It will augment the Make in India initiative. Other support measures for MSMEs, e-market linkage for MSMEs to be promoted to act as a replacement for trade fairs and exhibitions. Fintech will be used to enhance transaction-based lending using the data generated by the e-marketplace. MSME receivables from government and CPACs will be released in uh, 45 days. So whatever dues are with the government for for MSME that will be cleared in 45 days. We have to wait and watch as to how much this would be achieved. Some statistics, number of MSMEs by 2020 under manufacturing in rural areas in lakhs, that is 114 lakhs. In urban areas is 82 lakhs, total of 196 lakhs under manufacturing sector, which constitutes around 31%. Trading sector under rural 108 lakhs, under urban 121 lakhs, total of around 230 lakhs, constitute around 36%. Other services other under rural 102 lakhs, under urban 104 lakhs, total of around 206 lakhs, 207 lakhs, constituting of 33%. Electricity is again very negligible. Employment generation, yes, other services account for 362 lakhs of employment generation. So 362 lakhs people fall or work for service sector or MSME, service sector MSME. Under manufacturing, it is 360.41 lakhs, and under trading sector, it is 387.18 lakhs. So this is the employment generation sector wise for manufacturing, trading, and other services. So these were some of the thoughts, friends, on MSME and the benefits available. Um, any questions? Will be happy to answer. Satish, can you just be specific as to what your establishment would be, whether it would be a manufacturing or a service industry, a trading entity? Can you just confirm that? Yep. So for manufacturing, if at all it's a new entity, under income tax, you can opt for 15% tax rate. Yes, there is again some conditions that you need not avail a few deductions and exemptions. If that has been taken care, you can pay tax at the 15% against a normal tax rate of 22% or 25% as the case may be. So that is one benefit which is available for new manufacturing companies under income tax. Secondly, there are again a lot of schemes which would be available for the purpose of funding when it comes to manufacturing industry. Um you can approach your bank, which will provide you a better perspective for getting few funds. Some of the benefits which we mentioned in our presentation is just one second. Collateral free loans is something which is possible up to 50 lakhs rupees. There will be a lot of subsidies which would be available. Again, depends on on the sector which you are planning to. Engage a manufacturing unit. In some instances, concession is available in electricity bill, not for all, but yes, when all depends on your specific nature of business. Wherein, like, if you can mail it to us, we can confirm as to what all would be available in terms of your specific sector or specific nature of business. Is there any use to register in MSME now to get a new loan? The benefit seems to be for existing loans. So you need not. So now once you have taken the Udyog Aadhaar, you are registered as an MSME. With that, you can approach the banks, and as I have mentioned earlier, collateral free loans up to rupees 50 lakhs generally are being provided to MSMEs, even be it an established MSME or a new one. So there are few benefits under economic stimulus package, the Atmanirbhar, which is talking about a standard account or an NP account or the one which who wants to develop and grow. Yes, those are for the existing, but it's not like there are no benefits for the new entities. You can still go for funding from your. If you inquire with your bank, there can be funding possible. You can also provide for or see for the subsidies which are available. Yeah, there is no restriction. Non-MSME can have subsidiary as MSME. There is no restriction under the Companies Act or Income Tax Act, or there is no denial of any benefits in case a non-MSME has a subsidiary in subsidiary as an MSME. The benefits will not be rescinded once if the a non-MSME has an MSME. There is no denial of benefits. Friends, any specific queries, you can mail it to us as well, wherein like you feel like specific to your sectors, to your relevant for your nature of business. If you feel like you have any specific queries for your business, you can mail it to us at research@tvsca.com. We'll certainly provide you with more information as well as to what are the other benefits or other perks available for MSME pertaining to your sector. Chalapati sir, whether export comes under MSME. So you're talking about oh, okay. So there is no specific restriction as such, but if you can just specify a bit more or mail it to us your exact nature of business, we can confirm whether are there any specific restrictions on your type of business. If yes, we'll let you know. If no, then you can go for uh, the MSME registration. That is the Udyog Aadhaar. You can mail your query at research@dvsca.com, research @dvsca.com. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Have a great evening.